Alright, welcome to another video. Some of these videos are going to start to overlap a little bit, so please look at the title and figure out if it is a video that you need or you want. This is a video that's going to be a little bit of fun for me. I wanted to do it a long time ago, and then I just got distracted with the holidays and other things. But this is very important thing. So this video, let's get to that, is going to be very simple, is what not to do. So if you're going to do keto, you've hopefully seen the others or you're interested in it. These are like the biggest mistakes I would say I made, or really mistakes. I was purposely pushing my body to the limits and wrong. I was doing things that are not smart just so I could learn, so I can give people good advice, because again, when you get on the internet, you're going to get everybody's personal opinion, and I didn't do this. This is not just about me making a personal opinion. I want to be able to tell you why. So if you ever watch these and you have questions specifically, let me know, because everybody's different, and if I don't mention it later, I'll mention it right now. Everybody's different. So some of these things that I did would be horrible for some people to do, and there's probably people that are actually in better physical shape than I am who could even cheat more, could do other things. But this is ultimately, this video is about what not to do. So these are the goals of this talk, are very simple. You know, how not to screw up your keto, first of all, how not to be miserable, and then just an overlooked issue that I think is kind of important. So for sure, you want to keep this going your whole process. As you're doing this, you'll get a little sloppy. I did for sure. Pardon me, I played tennis earlier. And by having your vitals, it's going to tell you how you're doing. Having your notes of your vitals is going to tell you so many things. Once you've done this long enough, you're kind of, especially when you're in the adapted keto state, you're going to not have as many problems. That's definitely there. However, you want to just keep this going. Keeping going with doing your tracking is such an important thing in general for how you're going to come out. And when you start to notice that, wow, I haven't tracked anything for 2 weeks, well, that should tell you something. The question is why. Are you in a great zone? And if you are, well, then keep tracking it. And if you're not, you know, you've recognized you've fallen off the wagon or you've done something bad. So again, this we talked about before. These are your three major ways of testing. I did all three of them at one point just for that. I found very much so exercise screws everything up. So let's put that out of the equation for now. You want to be doing this at a standard time. So first thing in the morning, at evening, you know, at a time where your body's kind of in a normal state. Even a couple hours after exercise, you're not going to necessarily be normal depending how intense your exercise was. I found that when you're in a stable state, the breath and the urine were very, very similar. And another piece of that, you don't really care. You know, as long as you're in keto, you're in keto. The amount doesn't matter. Doing your blood and your ketone with a monitor, of course, that's going to be your best thing. It gets a little tiresome. I pretty much got in a phase where I would do it when I was really pushing the system and challenging it. If you're someone who's doing this for blood sugar, I highly recommend doing your blood sugar too, because the reality with that is what you eat is different for everybody. I have a wonderful patient who's a nurse practitioner who's type 2 diabetic. She did the 24-hour monitor, and she found great things. You know, her blood sugar would drop in the middle of the night for no reason sometimes. In her case, oatmeal, which is a high fiber, low glycemic food, is extremely high glycemic for her, but mashed potatoes are not. So that's one of those things, again, if you're tracking your vitals, you can look and say, wait, why am I screwed up today? And then figure out what that is. So this are the things what not to do. I'll start with the fun one for me. It was not fun. I was miserable, but part of when we do things wrong, it becomes funny later. But when I first got into an adaptive keto state, so my body metabolism had shifted into a truly adapted state. I wasn't just in ketosis. My metabolism shifted. That's, again, in another video. That's very, very important to understand that shift. When I did it, I cheated the very first time by going all out. My wife, as you know, is Thai. She loves carbs. That's what Thai people love, rice and noodles. If it's not with a meal, you know, it's not a meal. If I ate that way, I'd be 300 pounds and a diabetic likely. So what did I do? We went to a fancy new Mexican fusion restaurant on a Sunday. I had burritos, which is a lot of rice, and the soft shell taco. I had soft shell tacos. I had some of her chips. She wanted to try a natural root beer. I think I drank maybe a third of that, so natural cane sugar. And I almost actually forget at this point what else I had for dinner. I had even something else. So I just went ultra wild with the carbs just to see what's it going to do. And I expected it was going to throw me out of keto. So that was a Sunday. On Monday morning, I wasn't working. And I woke up in the morning, actually felt okay, and I was still in ketosis, which was very interesting to me that after all those carbs, I was still in keto, and I really felt okay. As the day went on, however, I didn't feel so good. And that night, so Monday night now, so we're now at this window of almost 24, 36 hours, I got so bloated. I had the most miserable night of sleep, and I felt absolutely awful. I gained 8 pounds overnight, according to the scale. And then I started to work on Tuesday. I don't know if you call them hot flashes, sweats, whatever. I was absolutely miserable. It was embarrassing with patients. I was dripping sweat. Of course, we got to wear the masks and everything with this COVID time. And I was miserable. So what happened? Oh, my blood pressure went to the roof. Everything went to crap. Well, what really happened was, pun intended, the crap. All those carbs, because I was doing keto, it changed your microbiome, which is actually for a good thing. It will change your bowels. But I put so many carbs into my bowels that just fed all those bacteria. And so I partied on Sunday. They partied on Monday night into Tuesday, and that's where that bloat came from. It came from all of the carbs that were still there and such. So it didn't really throw me out of keto, but I was literally miserable. So if you're gonna cheat, do it a little bit. Don't go hog wild. Don't push your body. It's not worth it. I was truly miserable for, I want to say, about 2 days. There was about 3 days till I really normalized back to normal. It was a kind of a gradual process. That Tuesday night, again, at this point, I was full keto diet. I was not doing anything but solid, proper, eating super clean, and I could feel it just gradually going down. I think it was probably 2 nights, and then I was completely back to normal, feeling good. But again, that Sunday of going crazy, it wasn't worth it. The other nuance of that, with not overdoing it, again, with certain people with your blood sugar problems, you might throw yourself out of keto, and you might have ruined what it just took you 5 weeks or 6 weeks to try because of your particular blood sugar problems or gut problems and such. So just don't do that. Don't push it. Don't overdo it. You don't need to. Respect that knowledge. It's not just what happened to me. Again, it's understanding the physiology of what is going on. Another what not to do, don't underestimate minerals, don't underestimate salt. Salt is so important. As I've said before, your body dumps minerals so fast, especially if you're doing a lot of exercise. You'll start to notice. When I was doing exercise, when I started to really push it with anaerobic, I would actually get back spasms, which were actually kidney stress. And it was the ketones going through my kidneys is what it was. Once I upped my minerals, then I was actually okay and I could push my body. So don't underestimate the need for extra minerals. I finally found, since I got out of keto, but I did find a product of keto minerals. There are others out there, but essentially it is salt, but you need magnesium and other minerals as well. And then BHB is very good as well. So minerals, do not overlook that. And then the final one's kind of an overlap of that is with cheating. If you're gonna cheat, you can do it. Almost anybody can. Hopefully one of my future videos will be with some patients that are open to do this, who do, some very overweight women or some people with really bad blood sugar problems. And we can just get them to, under supervision, we can support them to cheat a little bit and to explain the why. But in most cases, the biggest things people are going to cheat with is carbs and alcohol. Again, alcohol, I've said before, you're putting yourself into a purgatory. You're not going to get any of your benefits. You're not necessarily going out of keto, but you're also losing your benefits for a period of time, which will depend on the person. With carbohydrates, it's going to be the same way. You could throw yourself into a bloat like myself, where I gained 8 pounds, but then lost it readily once my bloat went down. Or you could turn that into fat. Your body could say, hey, we're out of keto. Let's store this carbs. We don't know where we're going to get it again. And not only did you lose it, you've just gained 8 pounds that you're going to keep for a period of time. So that's really the part there, is just don't cheat. As far as the other things, what not to do, I think it is no need to push your body. Respect how it works and what it works. If you've taken the time to properly got yourself into a adaptive keto state, And again, I repeat that so many times how important that is. There's a difference. An adaptive keto state is your body is now in ketosis. It likes ketosis. It wants that. Eat when you want to eat. Just because it's breakfast time, if you are not hungry, don't eat. Don't go into those social, cultural mentality that, oh, we have to do that. You just do it if you feel like you need it. No different if you wake up in the morning and you're hungry, eat. If you're feeling mentally fogged and you feel like, or you're doing athletics, for example, you need some more carbohydrate, get some carbohydrate. That is the one thing that so far at this process, I've now gone in for several months, come out of it. Exercise for me personally, when I got into anaerobic like tennis, I still never really mastered how to be in ketosis and truly stay in an anaerobic competitive level. I can go an hour, hour and a half, but if I were to do a 3-hour match or 2.5 hours of intense tennis, if you don't get the amount of carbs you need right, you're going to crash. And when you crash, there's no coming back right away. It's not like, oh, I made a mistake, let me go sip. Once you've crashed. So that's something hopefully I can bring in another doctor or two who have done this, who believe that you can do it, and get their opinions. I think it has a lot to do with both your health and your physical fitness level, how you can do that. But that is one thing there. And again, so that goes into our what not to do, is just respect that exercise is going to push your body and it's going to change those limits of what you need. So I hope this helps in the what not to do. For sure, don't overdo it. It was miserable, no question about it. Thank you so much for watching.